I'm sanding these valve covers. What's up, Scoot? Oh, Scoot. This is the second time I went live this morning. Scoot. Scoot. That's it right there. What's up, everybody? All right, so I went live earlier, but I thought it was UPS, but it was actually somebody else. I don't even know who it was. And like I said, I don't know who it was. There's somebody, they was looking for something that was actually lost. So I had to abruptly end the live earlier. So I just got back on here. I did hook up my Rupus vacuum cleaner. It was making too much dust. So I hooked up my Rupus vacuum cleaner and finished DNA. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. I'd greatly appreciate it. Don't cost a dime to hit that subscribe button, I promise you. And your support will be very thankful. Trying to get these prepped. I got to get them where they're not shiny no more. So if they're shiny anywhere, paint won't stick mechanically. Yeah, this, I'll show you what I got. Yeah, my Rupus. So whenever you hit the button, it comes on. You can put 2 DAs on it. And it helps out. It helps out a lot. So, helps out a lot. Yep. So like I said, I gotta I'm getting these prepped. Just about got it there. Just about there. And then I'll wash and clean them up again. And then probably somebody's gonna say, oh, you don't have gloves on and you should have gloves on. Yeah. I've already washed them. I'll wash them again. And then when I get ready to paint them, then I'll put gloves on. I'm not putting gloves on right now because I can't stand the way the gloves feel. So what's up, Tulu? Well, that sucks. That sucks, Scoot. Just, I wouldn't be. Hey, I wouldn't be nervous. Whatever's gonna happen, gonna happen. You can't change it, and worrying it ain't gonna change it, and worrying about it ain't gonna fix it. So whatever's gonna happen, gonna happen. So. And I know that's easier said than done, but I've tried to live by that philosophy. You know, whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen. Worrying about it ain't gonna fix it. Stressing out about it ain't gonna fix it. Getting all upset about it ain't gonna fix it. You know. Like I was saying earlier, one of my chickens is missing. Somebody said, "Oh, it's just a chicken." I look for the chicken. I hate that the chicken's gone, and I know that's not the same, but me worrying about it ain't gonna bring the chicken back. We can go a little deeper and say, me stressing out and worrying about, and being mad and all these emotions and all this stuff that I lost my son in 2019 ain't gonna bring him back. And you do your job the way you're supposed to do, and everything's good to go, and let the receipts speak for themselves, and be done with it. And whatever happens, happens. You know what I'm saying? I hate that somebody lost their job and now you're getting thrown under the bus, allegedly thrown under the bus for whatever reason. But, most time when somebody throws shade at somebody else, they're trying to deflect from themselves. You know what I'm saying? So we just let them do whatever they're going to do, and keep your integrity and keep you cool about it and handle it professionally, and whatever happens, happens. And keep professionalism about it. So. What's up, TJ? So that's wax and grease remover. So what I'll do is I'll clean these real good. I'll wash these. I'll blow them out real good. And then I'll spray a little bit of adhesive promoter over them just because. And then I'll put one light coat of epoxy on them. They're aluminum, but actually this is all right. So this one is actually so this, hold on a second. So Keith, it's actually this one. It's actually this one right here. I didn't get it off of Amazon. I got it from the paint store. So it's It's heavy duty. That's this one, right? It says solvent-based products. So that's that. So that's this one, right? Hold on, let me move this thing out of the way so I can get a little. All right, so here we go. So that's this one right here, all right? And that's the same one right there. So this one right here, I got alcohol prep. So I have green alcohol from Walmart, from the pharmacy. It's the green alcohol, the 91%. So I mix it 2 to 1, and that's in that, right? And then this is wax and grease remover in this one. I have put, this is soap and water in this one. All right, this is from the garden center at Walmart or Lowe's, I can't remember. So I put soap and water in this one when I'm wet sanding. This one here is from Harbor Freight. I believe this one's from Harbor Freight. It works. I got, I think there's wax and grease remover in this. I don't use it. I got a bunch of them, but my main two I go to is this one, which is wax and grease remover. This one right here is alcohol prep. And then this one is from the garden center. This one right here is soap and water from either Lowe's or the garden center. I can't remember which one. It's Garden Works. So whoever sells Garden Works, that's where that one comes from. When to use, so that's that. So when I do my prep, let me turn this around so I can see. So let me show you. So when I do my prep, I clean these and I know I got my hands bare, and y'all don't get lost in the woods for the trees. So I clean these really good with wax and grease remover, and then I wipe them down with alcohol prep, and then I sand them. And then periodically I'll spray wax and grease remover on them. Daggone YouTube going crazy, man. I don't know what in the world's going on. So then I'll clean them, right? And then I'll just double check them, and then I'll wash them, like with soap and water. I'll wash them. I'll wash them with soap, and then after I wash them, then I won't touch them on my hands, right? I'll hold them underneath here like this. Then I'll set them up. Then I'll put gloves on. Then I'll wipe them down with wax and grease remover like a couple times. And then when I wipe it down with alcohol prep, I'm done. I don't touch it no more. I'm done. I don't touch it no more. I don't touch it no more. And then wipe it down with a tack cloth, and I tack it one direction, and then I'm done. I don't touch it anymore. The more you rub on it, the more static you make. The more static you make attracts lint and dust and everything. So the alcohol prep, it usually, that's what like neutralizes it. So it takes away the static, and then I don't touch it anymore. And then I take a tack cloth and I just lightly tack it. So if there's anything left on it, it's done. And then I walk away from it. Then when I spray it, I'm done. I walk away from it. Then I let it tack off where it's, where you can touch it. And then I'll look and see if it's got any trash or any lint, and you're gonna have it, lint, anything. And then I'll take the tack cloth, I'll fold it around the other way, and I'll lightly swipe it the other, lightly just run it one time to get anything that's off of it. If there's something heavy in it, I'll take like some 2000 grit sandpaper, and I will just swip, just one direction, and cut the head of it off, right? If I cut through, then I'll come back and I'll spot prime it or spot seal it, whatever I need to do right there. But most of the time it won't cut through because it's on the top, and if you just knock the head of it off, you're good to go. Then I'll come in there and then I'll put one coat of base on it. I'll let that flash off. I'll come back, I'll do the exact same thing. I'll tack it, make sure ain't no trash in it. If there's any trash in it, I'll nib it, and then I'll put a second coat. I'll do the same thing again, then I'll do the third coat. And after the third coat on these of black, and when I say coats, I'm not putting it on heavy. So I'll put a light coat, and then a light coat, and then a light coat. So those 3 light coats will probably just be like 1 medium wet coat or 2 medium coats. 3 coats will be, probably 2 would be gracious plenty. I'll check it with the sunlight, make sure I don't have no light spots, make sure it's good and covered. And after all that's said and done, then I will let it set for about an hour. Then I will come, or about 30 minutes, depending on the temperature. Then I'll come in here and I'll spray 1 light coat of DBC 500. And DBC 500 is an inner coat base, which is clear, all right? And then I'll let that flash off for about 30 minutes. And then I will come in with my tape, my fine line tape, and I will tape up everything around this letters. The DBC 500 will let the tape, if the tape's gonna track, the tape, when I mean leave an impression, the tape will imprint the DBC 500, which is clear base, which is not in my black, it's in my DBC 500. And then I will come in here and I'll show you. I'll come in here, you don't need to see me, you need to see this. I'll come in here and I'll tape up around every bit of this. So the only thing is showing is LSX 376. And I'll tape up the whole thing, right? All right? Once I do that, once I do all that, then I will take my airbrush. Then what I'll do is I'll put a piece of tape over the X because I don't want the X painted, not yet. I'll take my airbrush and I will paint all this silver. All right? And I'll put like 2 good coats with my airbrush and I'll paint every bit of that silver. All right? And I'll make sure I get around the edges, and then I'll take my sunlight and I'll check it and make sure I have good coverage and all that good stuff. And then after that dries off for about 20 or 30 minutes, then I'll come in here and I'll tape up LS and 376, and then I'll untape the X. I'll paint the X red. I'll double check and make sure, because red's transparent. I'll make sure it's good and covered. Then I'll untape that. Then I'll untape the whole thing, and then I'll check, make sure I ain't got no issues, and then I'll put 3 coats of clear on it. And then I'll let it set, and then I'll come in here and I'll look and see if I need to nib it, and if I need to nib some little lint or something that's in it, I'll nib out the lint, and then I'll set it out in the sun. I'll let it cure out in the sun for a couple hours, 2 or 3 hours in the sun. I'll set it in the dry or set it in the shade, let it cool off, and I'll do that multiple times. If I had a UV light, to set a UV light on it, it would do it like super quick. And then I'll come in here, and if I need to polish it, I'll polish just the tops, just lightly make it polished and be good to go. So that's the process of it. So. Does everybody do that? No. Does people have different ways? Sure. But that's how I do it. And they will be painted black with silver letters and a red X. Now, there's some people out there that would just go to AutoZone or Advance and buy a couple cans of rattle can paint and rattle can it black and then let it dry and then tape up the black. Leave all this, spray a little silver over it, let it dry, untape it, and be done. It's ever how you want to do it. It's ever how you want to do it. Not saying my way is the right way, not saying that way is the wrong way. It's ever how you want to do it. So it is what it is. So Yeah, and that's another thing, TJ. If it's that hot, I don't even paint, man. I don't even paint. Because the paint's gonna dry before it gets there, and you're gonna have dry spray, and it's gonna feel like graveled rocks, and you could run 98 reducer, but 98 reducer's got retarder in it, or delayer, whatever you want to call it. PPG calls it a retarder, and you can't paint that fast. It's just too much. So if it's more than 90 degrees, I don't even paint. No, especially like something small, I would, but all over, I wouldn't even touch it. Wouldn't even touch it, because you can't paint that fast. You just can't do it. People that paint in those situations, they have their booths that are air conditioned, you know. So, where they can maintain the temperature at 75 degrees, and they got AC in them, you know. And those are $300,000 paint booths, you know what I'm saying? So, and they do exist. So, they don't exist here, but they do. So, not too hot, not too cold, just right. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and I don't paint under 65 degrees. And even though I got heat in my booth, I don't paint under 65 degrees because the chemical makeup of the chemicals, they stop working, you know, after 65. But there's people out there that paint, you know, it'd be 48 degrees outside and I'd be painting. They're like, I'm painting, it's 48 degrees, I don't care. Well, you don't know much about chemicals and how the chemical makeup of it is. It's not working, it'll never dry. Oh yeah, it dried. No, it's never dry. It might dry, but it ain't cured. It ain't cured. There's a difference. So, there's a difference. So, I believe these are pretty good. Now, yeah, this is still shiny in here. I got this little tool I'm gonna do that with. I'm not gonna do it on, it's a little tool that I get in here. It's like a little brush. It's like the size of that right there. I can get in there and they're like little bristle brushes to get in there. And that's why I told you I'm gonna spray adhesive promoter on them just because. I did find a dent. I did find a dent in them. Where was that dent at? I told him I'd have these done by today, so I got to get on it. Got a little tedious stuff. There's a dent. I found a dent. Not for me. I found it. But I think, I can fix it, but I'm not going to. Because I think once these get on, and then you have these covers, and you have these covers, and you have these covers, and there's all this stuff on there, you're only going to see this part here. Yeah. Sorry. But been on here 30 minutes. I appreciate every single one of you. I know I ended the other live abruptly. I apologize for that. Hit the subscribe button. I'm gonna try to keep these lives at 30 minutes intervals. Also, I'm gonna paint these today too. I'm gonna get these painted, but I'm not gonna paint them when I paint these. I'm gonna paint them separate because I don't want anything to cross over. So once I get these done, then I'm gonna paint these black, and then I'm gonna clear these, and then we'll go from there. These is for the 68C10. TJ, I talked to the owner this morning of the 68C10. He said he was super excited about everything. Said everything looks good, and then he told me that he was leaving. He's leaving in a week or two, and he's going to be out of the country for the next 2 to 3 weeks. So if I need anything, I better go ahead and get it now before he leaves. So I got to do that. I got to pre-plan for the next 30 days what I think I might need, so I can get what I need to get. because he said he's going to be indisposed for the next 2 to 3 weeks. He said he's going out of the country. So that's the life, boys and girls. That's the life. So communication. It's a wonderful thing, man. Communication. You got to have communication with in anything in life. You got to have communication. So for the ones that didn't see the C10 that's new to the channel, let me walk around here and I'll show it to you. So here it is. Like I said, I got a little bit of stuff on the lens. Like I said, I got a few things I got to do to it today. I'm gonna paint these valve covers, but he says he wants it lower. He did say that. I sent him some videos. He said he wants it lower. So I don't know how we're actually going to do that unless we put lowering blocks on it, because the coilovers are just about he said he wants it lower. And I said, what? And he said he wants it lower. And I said, oh, okay. And then he was talking about, let me tell you how good he is too. He said, hey, look, that camber don't look right on them front wheels. I said, no, they're not. I hadn't adjusted the front. I'm going to do the front wheel alignment. But he is right. When you fix the casting camber of the wheel's going to stand up. And that means that's going to raise the truck up about an inch, maybe about an inch. Worst case scenario. But then he's like, well, how are we going to fix that? Because I want this thing pretty low. And I said, well, I mean, I said, well, here's the thing. You know, we'll just have to see what it looks like after the dyno. You know what I mean? I said, he said, I'd like to lower it about another inch. And I'm like, well, the only way to lower it another inch in the front is I'd have to look into that QA1 suspension front. It has QA1, suspension on the front, wheelward spindles, brakes, and all that stuff. So either we get 2-inch drop spindles from wheelward and change all that to drop it. That's going to drop it 2 inches. It has coilovers in the front. Or see if QA1 has a 2-inch drop bracket to drop the coilover an inch to drop it in the front. Like I say, I had to do some research on that. In the back, it's pretty simple. Well, I say it's pretty simple. In the back, if he wants to lower, he wants to have a 3-degree rake. So to have a 3-degree rake, I'd have to look and see how QA1, I have to see, you know, what QA1 has. They might have a 1-inch block, or I could make a 1-inch block. It's no problem, and put a 1-inch block in there, and we could raise the rear end up. It's already been C-notched. So this whole kit is from QA1. Everything's from QA1. The C-notch, the coilovers, the link bars. This thing has full. So if you go to QA1 and you look up a 67 C10, their complete QA1 suspension, this truck has it. Everything that QA1 offers, this truck has it. And it's a Moser rear end, 373 gears. So that's that. But he did tell me, that he wanted it about an inch lower. And I said, well, let's just wait and see where we're at, because there's a lot of things you got to take in consideration. It's just the cab and it's just the front sheets. Once you get the fenders, the hood, the headlight, all that stuff in the front, that adds weight. Once you get the bed back on it, that adds weight. Once you get all the doors on it, that adds weight. I said, let's do this. Let's get it to the dyno, get it dynoed, see where we're at on the dyno. Once we get it back from the dyno, then let me put all the sheet metal on it. The sheet metal is pretty good on the sheet metal. It's all new, so, and I think it's all fitted, but I need to, I said, let's do that. I said, let me put all the sheet metal on the front, get everything bolted up where it needs to be, get the bed back on it, and get it all one solid truck. And then adjust the front end on the suspension, on the adjustment for the alignment and all that. Get all that stuff done. Once we get all that done, Then we can check rod height, because then it will have all the weight. Then we can go from there. And if you want to change it, then we can change it then, before it's painted. I can take it back apart. I can take the front wheels off, change the spin. I mean, you can look at the front wheel and it's cast in a little bit because I know the camber's off. But right now it's not going to get on the road and get driven. We just go into the dyno, and on the dyno, we just need the back wheels on the roller. That's all we need. And then we can go from there. So I'm still waiting on a throttle cable. Throttle cable's supposed to be here this week. Hopefully, Amazon's been tripping here lately. I still need a throttle cable. And when I say a throttle cable, is because he went fly-by-wire, and y'all like my professional throttle cable. This is a bracket. The throttle cable comes through here, and then it has to go up. So I got to make something here to grab that arm right there, because he went with the stock pedal. So you can have a, so, you know, there's the stock pedal. And if he went drive-by-wire, then we wouldn't have none of that. But he wanted a cable. So he wanted to hear that. He wanted that. He's old school. So the cable has to go. This is just mock-up. The cable goes through that, and then I have to make something right here. I got to make something to grab here and here, where it's kind of radius back, where it can grab that. This is the pedal arm. I might have to take this pedal arm and cut it and extend it up. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. This radiator, TJ, this right here come from Amazon and eBay. I get all my radiators from Amazon and eBay. They come with the fans and everything. They're really, really nice. I'm going to paint, let's see, hold on a second. You turn the cab with no floors into that. Yes, sir. Appreciate it, Keith. Hold on a second. I missed something. I know Tulu, right? I mean, it's already pretty dang. Yeah, water's good. The knowledge. I appreciate that, Keith. All right, so the valve covers are going to be black to match that, and then I'm going to make it a medallion that's going to be polished. It's going to be aluminum, and then I'm going to have TKM laser and etch it that says powered by TKM, and then I'm going to paint that medallion black. Then I'm going to sand it back down so it has the letters that are be black profile. And then I'm going to polish the medallion, like a, you know, be like a belt buckle. It's going to be right here, right? And then I'm going to get these little button head stainless steel screws, and I'm going to bolt it to that where it looks like a medallion and put it on there. The engine has a potential to make 1,000 horsepower. So it has a potential to make 1,000 on engine. The client says if it does not put at least 750 to the wheel, he says if it don't put 700 to the wheel, then we're doing something different. We're going to go with a Pro Charger, turbos, nitrous, something. And I told him just hold off. You know what I mean? Just hold off. You know, just let's get it. Let's see. Just don't order nothing. Don't buy nothing, because if he orders a Pro Charger, then this tube here is going to have to be changed. If he buys a turbo, then the header is going to have to be changed. If he buys a supercharger, that's going to have to be changed. Now, I do know this. This is a Texas Speed Titan intake. It does have an intercooler that goes with it. It's like 2 inches. I did look at it last night. So the way it works is you take this top shell off, you put the intercooler on it, you bolt it back down, and you run cold water through it. I'm hoping once we get the hood on it and everything's set, I'm going to have to figure out either put some clay or get some Play-Doh and make a Play-Doh thing, stick it right here, and then shut the hood and see how much it squeezes the Play-Doh down. If I have enough room for the intercooler, I'm going to order an intercooler take this top shell off, put the intercooler goes in between the top and the bottom, and then squeeze it back down. Once I do that, then I can run fresh water through the intercooler, and that will cool the air down even more to gain a couple. I think you can gain like, they say you can gain up to 50 horsepower that way. So if we kind of cool the air charge down even more, that would be even better. It's already pulling in fresh air here, right? It's pulling in fresh air here, so it's cold air here coming in. But if I have enough room to put that intercooler in between this and that, take a piece of Play-Doh, measure the Play-Doh, put the Play-Doh on top of this, put the hood on it, shut the hood, then measure the Play-Doh, how much it squeezed it. If I have enough room from here to here, I will order that intercooler, and I'll put the intercooler on it. Texas Speed, now this is a TKM engine, but this is a Titan intake. Right? And if I can put an intercooler on it, it says potentially 50 more horsepower. Well, let's just say this. Let's say worst case scenario, this thing makes 650 to the wheel. And we put the intercooler on there and we get 50 more horsepower. Now we at 700, which is crazy in a pickup truck. And we didn't have to do nothing but put an intercooler on it. Then if he still wants more, then what we can do is we can go to the box. We can drill some places in the box and tap it and hide some nitrous injection fogger system, and you can wire that up to the Terminator system, and the Terminator X Max Holley system can run the nitrous. And then we can do like a fog system where once he gets to so far, he can do like, flip the switch and hit the button, and it will fog the intake. It will fog the intake box with nitrous and give him like a 50 shot of nitrous. And that will put it up to 750 to 800 potentially to the rear wheel. Now, these are numbers on paper, and everybody knows in real world scenarios, everything's different. You can build two identical engines with exact parts, everything in them, and one make 1 horsepower and one make the next horsepower. And proving that fact, I had a buddy back in probably 2008, 2009, somewhere around there. He went to Charlotte, and him and his best friend, they bought 2 Hayabusas. One was blue and one was black. They left straight from the dealership and went to a motorcycle shop and had them dynoed. One of them made 15 more horsepower than the other one. My buddy turned around and took the motorcycle back to the Hayabusa dealership and said, I want another one. There's something wrong with this one. It makes 15 horsepower less than my buddy's. There's something wrong with it. And they was like, no, he said, I want a different motorcycle. I want this, something's wrong with this one. So you can build 2 exact identical engines and they make different horsepower because just the way things work. So potentially this is a 1,000 horsepower engine package. That's what it's on paper. All the components in it is a potential to make 1,000 horsepower. But through parasitic draw, through the transmission, the drive shaft, the rear end, they say you can lose 33%. My client says as long as it makes 700 to the wheels, he's okay with it. If it doesn't make 700 to the wheels, then we got to do something. So, that's that. Like I said, I can build engines. I built engines before. I did mechanic work before. But I know engines. I know everything in them. I know what they do. I know the concept of it. I know the mechanicalism of it. I know everything of it. But I don't have a machine shop. I don't have a clean room. Oil and paint don't mix. So I would much rather let somebody like TKM, or I have 3 engine builders. TKM is the top of the line. Then I have 2 budget builders that clients can go, or we can just order one brand new from Blueprint Engine, whichever you want to do. So basically 4, right? You can't beat a man at his own game. So there's no way that I could build something like TKM because they have all the machines. Y'all went to the facility, y'all seen it, right? I built the engine in my 2000. I built this engine in my car right here. It's a 383 stroker dart block. All right, I built this engine. I put it all together. It's got a 142 supercharger. Has fuel injection on it. It a scoot and boogie. I've never had it dynoed, but it's potentially 650 to 700 horsepower. It's running about 10 pounds of boost, low compression, 383 stroker. I painted the block. The engine is painted 2010 Lamborghini orange mica pearl. The engine and transmission is painted orange. I painted everything. The block, I painted it all. So that's that. You a dealer for anyone that has engine bearings. Cleave makes good bearings. I don't know, what are you trying to do, 95? You talking about that 6.0 you working on? You a dealer for anyone that has engine bearings. You can get, I mean, it depends on what you need. I mean, you can get it from AutoZone. I mean, they're all coming from the same place, man. You got Cleveland, is it CLEVIT something bearings? You got, they're pretty much, they're all coming from the same place. So if you need oversized bearings, I would just AutoZone, Advance, Napa. I don't have a dealer for anything like that. No, sir, I don't. Just get the part number that you need and just look it up on Amazon. I know everybody don't like Amazon, but it's the same stuff that you're getting at AutoZone or Advance or O'Reilly's or eBay or anything like that. But anyways, I'm gonna get back to it, and I appreciate everybody tapping in for the second time this morning, taking time out of your day. I appreciate it. I hope you learned something. I learned something. Remember what I said, boys and girls, make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit that follow button, hit that notification bell, and yeah, Amazon might have a better deal. Remember what I said, boys and girls, don't worry about the man up the road or down the road. Sweep off your own front porch while sweeping off anybody else's. Put God first, that loose and dry. Peace, of and chicken grease. I'm out.